Testing, testing. right, welcome to the Public Service Commission's administrative meeting for November 5th, 2025. First item is to approve the minutes from our meeting of October 29, 2025. Commissioner McLean.
Aye.
Commissioner Linton.
Aye.
Commissioner Commissioner Suchman.
Aye.
Commissioner Barbe.
Aye.
I vote aye.
Morning, Mr. Chair. There are 5 items on today's consent agenda. Item number 1 is a request to cancel the curtailment servers provider license of Veridity Energy Solutions, Inc. Item number 2 is a name change notice from Zayo Northeast LLC. Items 3 and 4 are extension requests for projects in Garrett County and Anne Arundel County from 4786A George Washington LLC and 4786B George Washington LLC, as well as Glen Burnie Landfill Solar LLC. And item number 5 is a proposal for a indirect ownership transfer from Think Big Networks LLC.
Okay, regarding item 1, I move we cancel the company's license. Commissioner McLean.
Aye.
Commissioner Linton.
Aye.
Commissioner Suchman.
Aye.
Commissioner Barbe.
Aye.
I vote aye. Regarding item 2, I move we note the company's name change and accept the updated tariff for filing with an effective date of November 5th, 2025. Commissioner McLean.
Aye.
Commissioner Linton.
Aye.
Commissioner Suchman.
Aye.
Commissioner Barbe.
Aye.
I vote aye. Regarding item 3, I move we grant the requested limited waiver of Comar 20.62.03.04C and extend the operational deadline for the George Washington solar projects until December 31, 2026. Commissioner McLean.
Aye.
Commissioner Linton.
Aye.
Commissioner Suchman.
Aye.
Commissioner Barbe.
Aye.
I vote aye. Regarding item number 4, I move we grant the requested limited waiver of Comar 20.62.03.04C and extend the operational deadline for the Glen Burnie Landfill Solar Project to March 1, 2026. Commissioner Linton.
Aye.
Commissioner McLean.
Aye.
Commissioner Suchman.
Aye.
Commissioner Barbe.
Aye.
I vote aye. And regarding item 5, I move we note the transaction. Commissioner McLean.
Aye.
Commissioner Linton.
Aye.
Commissioner Suchman.
Aye.
Commissioner Barbe.
Aye.
I vote aye.
And item number 6 on the administrative agenda is an application from Chesapeake Utilities of Maryland, Inc.
You okay? Okay.
Good morning, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. Elwyn Clifford on behalf of staff. On October the 1st, 2025, Chesapeake Utilities of Maryland filed a request for authorization to establish a regulatory asset for costs expected to be incurred in relation to the implementation of a new enterprise resource planning system, commonly known as an ERP system. As Chesapeake notes in their filing, their business has undergone expansion recently, and a new ERP system would enable them to streamline their operations and realize efficiencies to the benefit of their customers. Chesapeake estimates the cost of the system to be $122 million. Accounting rules would ordinarily prohibit the company from capitalizing some expenses related to the development of the ERP system. These non-capitalizable costs are estimated to amount to $4.3 million, with $249,000 of this being related to Chesapeake's Maryland operations. The company is seeking authority to establish a regulatory asset for these non-capitalizable expenses. This accounting treatment would remove these costs from operating expenses when they're incurred. There is no negative impact on the company's income and would keep them in a regulatory asset until the company files a rate case. In Chesapeake's last rate case, that concluded at the start of the year, the company agreed to a 4-year stay-out. It is at the point of the next rate case that these expenses would be evaluated for recovery through rates if they are deemed to be prudent, used, and useful. To be clear, at this time the company is only seeking authority for the aforementioned accounting treatment rather than recovery of costs through rates. Staff recommends that Chesapeake be authorized to establish a regulatory asset in relation to these non-capitalizable costs Chesapeake has outlined in its filing, incurred in the development of a new enterprise resource planning system. The Office of People's Counsel filed comments regarding this filing on Monday, and with that, staff is available to any questions you may have.
Okay, any questions for staff? Seeing none?
Good morning, Chair Hoover, Commissioners. My name is Alexis Lewis on behalf of the Office of People's Counsel. As you probably saw OPC filed comments in this matter, and OPC does not oppose Chesapeake's request for the regulatory asset. However, OPC filed comments with the primary aim of ensuring the proper allocation of costs in the regulatory asset itself. Therefore, OPC has three overarching comments today. First, we'd like to see an immediate filing of Chesapeake's Distrigas allocation analysis, which they mentioned in their application. The company has agreed to this upon speaking with them. We would like the Commission to receive this analysis and OPC be copied, because this will help us better understand the process in which the allocation was decided and just ensure that the correct entities and customers are allocated the various costs given the subsidiaries under the Chesapeake Utilities umbrella, since there are utility companies as well as non-utilities. Second, we request that there be quarterly reports. This is a standardized request that the Office of People's Counsel makes, just to ensure the proper tracking and monitoring of the various requests that go into the regulatory asset on the front end, so that it's properly tracked for the next base rate case. Within these quarterly reports, we'd like to see first project cost estimates, second project schedule changes, and third description of the project implementation and any troubleshooting efforts. The company has not agreed to this, but we would like to request this of the Commission regardless. And finally, if the Commission approves the regulatory asset, we respectfully request that the order state for posterity that the regulatory asset is for tracking purposes only, and that the prudence in any return of the properly allocated costs in the regulatory asset be determined at the next base rate case. We believe this is consistent with the company's intent, and the company also orally agreed to this request this morning. I'm available for questions if the Commission has any.
Okay, any questions? Or, oh, you?
Well, sure, I did have
Sure,
one.
okay.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You mentioned that the company did not agree to your reporting request.
Yes, yes,
but,
sir.
But they did to the other two.
Yes, sir. That's correct.
I know the company's here. Do you have flexibility with regards to the number of reports requested? So, for example, maybe twice a year, for example, or something of that sort.
Yeah, I think yes, Commissioner, OPC has flexibility with the number of reporting requests. I am unsure of the company's flexibility, but that's certainly something we can be flexible with.
Okay. All right. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank
Okay.
you.
All right, let me turn to Chesapeake then, so.
Good morning, Commissioners. Brian Quinn on behalf of Chesapeake. Obviously, we agree with staff's buck sheet. Thank them for their analysis. As to OPC's letter that they filed on Monday, we'll take them one at a time. The district gas allocation formulas are it's pretty standard stuff approved by FERC. We discussed in our last rate case, there was a witness describing the allocations methodologies used by the company. OPC was free to file a DR before today, and we would have given it to them informally in a DR. But if the Commission would like us to officially file the Excel spreadsheet that includes the district gas methodology, we're happy to do it. Of course, that changes over time, but we're happy to just send it informally to OPC or file it, whatever the Commission's preference is. As to the quarterly report, Mr. Chairman, OPC made the same request a couple of years ago in 2022 when Chesapeake filed for a reg asset for their customer information system, and the Commission didn't feel it was necessary at that time. We respectfully just disagree as to the utility of such a report. All the costs and expenses, prudency, all of that issue, all those issues are ripe for discussion in a rate case, as opposed to what are we supposed to do with an individual periodic report between now and the next rate case? Fight over something in front of the commission on a single issue rate making matter? It just seems to be a little unnecessary. Wasn't necessary before the last rate case. The CIS system reg asset was moved. We had debate about it in the rate case and was moved in as part of the settlement in that case. We just think it's a little bit excessive and unnecessary here. And as to their third request about explicitly stating that a reg asset is only for tracking purposes and all expenses, whether it's approved or not, is discussed in a rate case. Well, that's rate making 101, so we're happy to agree to that. If you all feel it's necessary to explicitly state that in your letter order, that's okay. It's the truth regardless. So with that, happy to answer any questions.
Okay, so actually, before we take questions for him, let me just check. So what's staff's view on the 3 requests from OPC?
Similar to Chesapeake's, we don't oppose them, but we don't really feel that it's necessary, as the allocation and the costs are going to be reviewed at the next rate case anyway. So,
I see.
and then the third request, yeah, I thought that was quite firm. We thought that that was stated within the filing anyway, and if we need to state it in the order, then that's fine. So.
Okay, so questions for Chesapeake. Commissioner Suchman.
Well, actually, can I have OPC come back up? Because actually, I'm a little. If you can explain to me the value of the quarterly reports, I certainly don't want to sort of create a single issue rate making issue. So if there's something that you won't get in a rate case that you think you're going to get from the quarterly report, then I understand the value of it. So if you could explain to me why you feel like you need it now.
Thank you, Commissioner. Yeah, I think the value in tracking that now is, as I said previously, just as a front-end mechanism to ensure that to provide information on what is actually being done within this project. The application didn't necessarily include a breakdown of the costs, whether it's, contract labor, other labor, what software is being purchased. It was pretty bare. So I think that would make OPC more comfortable just to see how this entire project is breaking down, especially since this is on the heels of its last rate case where I believe a $1.2 million regulatory asset was approved, that for another large IT project, the CIS. So that was our thinking, just as a measure of, more detail to help us once we get to that rate case.
But this is not information that you think you will not get in a rate case. It's just information you're going to get now as opposed to during a rate case.
Yes, Commissioner.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
So back to Chesapeake. Any questions for them? So, Commissioner Linton.
Thank you. Morning again.
Morning, Commissioner Lynn.
You filed you have a 4-year stay out for filing another rate case. Could you refresh our memory as to when that period ends?
4 years from, when was our rate case effective? Earlier this year. Mr. Valcarengi might have the exact date. Our rate case order, sorry, you want to take that one? If you guys know, off the top of my head, I apologize.
I think it was from January this year, so 4 years from then.
4 years from now. Okay. So at the end of that period, is it a mandatory filing period or is it optional?
Optional.
Optional. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's all I have.
And not to continue, the application here in paragraph 5 describes, contrary to what OPC said, it describes what expenses will be included in the regulatory asset, just for clarification.
Okay, any other questions for Chesapeake? All right, well, actually,
Yes, sir.
So the issue about the reports is not so much the timing, but it's whether or not to file a report, period, correct?
Commissioner Hoover, that's right. If someone from staff wants to review another report quarterly or annually, that's up to you all. I suppose if you think there's any utility to that, we're happy to do it. I suppose what's the end game here if a report comes in that somebody disagrees with? Are we supposed to bring a regulatory asset and the contents of which aren't even in rates yet, and to come in and have some debate and argument about a single issue? We just seems to be not a good use of resources. But again, it's a respectful disagreement.
Okay. And your stay out started in January of this year.
Middle June, we just said,
Oh, June of this year.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
June.
Commissioner Sussman.
Just so that I sort of have a sense of how onerous a task it would be if you were, for example, to do quarterly reports. Can you give me a sense of what that would involve in terms of resources?
I'd have to, Commissioner Suchman, it's not the end of the world. If
Well, I
that's
mean,
your-
nothing
if
is
that's your-
the, so I
right,
guess, I
right.
mean, the
So
question is,
my-
are we talking, I mean, because,
Yeah, there will be cost.
okay, and those
Top of my
costs
head.
would then, you would seek
Of
recovery?
course.
Yeah, I mean, I am mindful of obligations, requirements that then involve a cost, which I don't have an issue with if it's going to produce information that's useful in the long run. But it seems to me, Mr. Chairman, this is information that will come out in a rate case, and I do worry about additional costs, which the ratepayers are going to have to bear.
Commissioner Suchman, that's our point. We have a recent example of it, which is what I mentioned earlier. The CIS reg asset was reviewed and approved in a rate case without periodic reporting up to the point of the rate case. But again, it's up to you all, of course, but our last reg asset did not involve periodic reporting, and it was reviewed and approved in the rate case.
Yeah, no, and I mean, I don't know that we're necessarily held to what
Just giving you an example.
I understand. And and perhaps Ms. Bell has something to add.
Juliana Bell for OPC. I just wanted to clarify. I was around for the last rate case, and I don't think Ms. Lewis was. And our point in asking for these advanced reportings and the information now is that rate cases are a compressed time frame, and thoroughly understanding that coming into a rate case is a very useful thing. I think there was back and forth and discovery in the Chesapeake rate case, but it took us a minute to thoroughly understand what the requests were there from Chesapeake, some details, and if you ask me what those details were, I'm not going to immediately remember. I mean, Ryan Shue was working on that for us. But we like to understand as much as we can coming into a rate case, and but recognizing that we don't want to add to costs for ratepayers either. And I think what we're requesting here is fairly simple reporting of what the company probably already is looking at itself. So I don't see this as particularly burdensome, but agree that we don't want to add significantly or add to costs for ratepayers. I don't think we're concerned about that as well.
Right.
But that's the reason for these requests is coming into a rate case. It'd be great if we already understand what's going on here, and don't have to start from zero in that compressed time frame.
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
Let me ask this. Given the fact that actually, for Ms. Bell, so given the fact that we're not going to have a rate case for at least 4 years, can your concerns be accommodated if they make an annual filing?
I
As
think
opposed
we,
to the
as Ms.
quarterly?
Lewis said, we're flexible to those, the frequency of those reporting requirements, and I think we could agree to that, yeah.
Okay. And for Chesapeake, what's your thought about if you have to do this annually as opposed to
Brian
4
Quinn-
times a year?
Brian Quinn again,
Yeah,
Mr.
right.
Chairman. Sure. Annually's less expensive than quarterly. So if you feel there's some utility to it, we're happy to do it, I guess, on an annual basis. Again, our objection is based on the utility of such report.
Sure, I understand that part. So,
Yep.
but- Okay, so I guess the motion I would make would be to authorize the company to implement a regulatory asset as described in the filing pending review and examination of costs by the commission in a future rate case, as well as providing to the commission the DigiGas analysis and to file annual reports regarding the cost estimates, actual expenses, incurred to date and forecasted expenses, as well as changes to the project schedule and descriptions of the project implementation, including milestones and troubleshooting efforts. And then 3, that, well, actually, I'll just leave it at that. So Commissioner McLean.
Aye.
Commissioner Linton.
Aye.
Commissioner Suchman.
Aye, but Mr. Chairman, I just want to make clear, anytime we approve a regulatory asset, we are not making determinations about prudency.
Yes,
That just, I just want to make that clear.
I understand.
Okay,
Understood.
thank you.
And with that,
And then, aye.
Commissioner Barbe.
Aye.
I vote aye.
Item number 7 consists of revised tariff pages from the Potomac Edison Company.
Good morning, Chair and Commissioners. DeAndre Wilson on behalf of Commission staff. On August 1st, 2025, Potomac Edison filed a request to incorporate a new rider setting forth small generator interconnection request fees for pre-application reviews pursuant to PUA 4-203 and COMAR 2050-0905. Currently, COMAR 2050-0905 permits utilities to charge small generator interconnection request fees for pre-application reviews, as well as Level 2, Level 3, and Level 4 interconnection requests, with the requirement that utilities charging such fees specify them in utilities tariff. Potomac Edison is proposing this tariff change to ensure that small generator facilities wishing to interconnect to the company's electric distribution system bear a portion of the cost their applications impose upon the company. These fees would apply to all residential and non-residential customers within the company's service territory seeking interconnection to its electric distribution system. The company states that it is experiencing a significant increase in interconnection pre-application requests, and in order to retain additional resources to continue to process these requests in a timely manner, it must offset these additional costs by charging interconnection request processing fees. The $300 application fee is consistent with the pre-application fees charged by other First Energy utilities, as the company states, and is based in part on the average time it takes the company to process and manage pre-application reviews, which takes approximately 2 hours to process and uses software applications that must be maintained and updated. In line with cost causation principles, the company can avoid costs from being recovered from other customer classes by charging commercial developers for the interconnection request processing fees and, according to the company, are intended to fully offset the cost of pre-application review. Potomac Edison also sees charging pre-application and application processing fees as a way to deter developers from submitting speculative projects and allows the company to focus more on its time on processing applications for more viable projects. Staff has reviewed the proposed tariff riders for Potomac Edison and finds it is compliant with Comar 2050-0905C and finds that it is consistent with other utilities. The tariff language is consistent with other utilities such as BGE and Pepco. Staff recommends the Commission accept Potomac Edison's revised tariff pages for small generator interconnection fees with an effective date consistent with the date of approval by the Commission of the filing. Staff is available for any questions.
So, any questions? All right.
Good morning, Chair and Commissioners. Jessica Reba on behalf of the Potomac Edison Company. Thanks to staff for the analysis. We're just here for questions.
Any questions for PE? No. Mr. Suchman.
Good morning, Mr. Reba. Have you received any sort of pushback from any small generators about the impact that the cost will have on their ability to finance a project?
No, not that I'm aware of. And as staff noted, we're the only utility that currently isn't charging these. So
Right. No, I appreciate that. I mean, I just want to know if you heard from any generator project developers that this could serve as an impediment. I mean, they've got lots of other costs that they're going to have to incur.
sorry, Mr. Zuko would like to.
Yeah, go ahead.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, Commissioners. Mark Zuka. We have not heard that, and actually we've heard the opposite. We've heard some developers say that having these fees will allow the projects that are more speculative to be weeded out somewhat, and so that the projects that are from developers that have the site control, that have projects, that have the financing, are the ones that are moving forward, and it allows for the queue to be a little bit cleaner.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? Seeing none? All right, I move we accept the revised tariff pages for filing with an effective date of November 5th, 2025. Commissioner McLean. Aye. Commissioner Linton.
Aye.
Commissioner Suchman.
Aye.
Commissioner Barbe.
Aye.
I vote aye.